Hey guys, So Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Super7 Thundercats Ultimates Lion-O. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, I would first of all like to say that this review right here is brought to you in part by my good buddy, Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below and hit him up on Instagram. Let him know Overlord sent you. But as always, be nice. Don't be a jerk. I will find you. That said, I am reviewing an old figure. I do realize that. And up until, well, this past year anyways, I was fully content with only getting Lion-O and Ever-Living Mumra from this line. And then I started looking at more. And then I got Panthro for Christmas. And much like Lion-O here, Evil Villain is also hooking up the Mattel versions, mind you, but still, characters I don't have, Jackalman and Skinny Mumra, so your boy is totally screwed because he is a die-hard Rankin Bass fan and a total sucker for anything Rankin Bass. So, Thundercats is included in that equation. I don't know about Silverhawks, okay? I have a little bit of connection with Thundercats because I watched the reboot, and by the way, I believe his name is Don Friedel. I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Friedel. Batman Beyond will always be my Lion-O. I love that version of Lion-O. He is awesome, and that show is awesome, and in my opinion got canceled prematurely, but was brought back on Toonami for a while. So, yeah, I guess that's the thing. But either way, speaking of Ever-Living Mumra, just to kind of go back to that for a moment, I forgot about this staff accessory when I did that review because my dumb arse straight up left it in the box to be thrown away. So thanks to Toy Bro's review, you know, he did an actual good review of that figure. He mentioned he came with this, and as far as I'm concerned, Toy Bro is the resident Thundercats expert, since that's his jam, like Spawn, Ghost Rider, and Gargoyles is mine. That said, our jams don't have a lot of buying options. If I need to make something quite clear, I would like to see a little bit more variety for our likes, but I guess that's just not going to happen. Either way, as far as Lion-O's accessories are concerned, getting back to the review at hand, he does come with this alternate head with a more snarling, angry expression. Really like that. And then he does come with a pair of grip hands with the inappropriate hinge, mind you, but grip hands nonetheless. Then he also comes with a pair of grip hands. Again? Question mark? Yeah, I guess there's some kind of, I don't know, screw up where these were supposed to be fists and they're just more grip hands. Still with the same hinge. It would have been nice if these had the other type of hinge like the Thulsa Doom I just looked at. Because I don't even think Ever-Living Mumra came with hands with the appropriate hinges in them. So that kind of sucks. As far as I know, Jackalman didn't have that problem. And then, of course, he does come with the Sword of Omens to give him sight beyond sight to see Cheetara topless. Let's face it, you all want to see that, especially the 2011 version. That was cringe network worthy. Either way, it's got the Eye of Omens there. I don't know if this is like poorly done or not. I guess it kind of is, and the one that comes with Jaga is a little nicer, so I guess when I eventually break down and get him, I will swap the sword out, but I don't know, it looks fine to me. It's okay. I'm visually impaired anyway. I'm going to see that crap soon enough as it is. And he comes with two claw shields, or claw gauntlets. These are gauntlets, not really shields, but whatever. I want to say these, are they Claws of Omens, or the Shield of Omens, or the Butt Scratcher of Omens? I don't know. But he comes with two of them. This one has like a texture detail that I kind of like, but this one is more tried and true, kind of classic and just kind of smooth. So I think I might use that one. I'm guessing one is for the vintage toy and one is for, you know, the cartoon. So let me know which one is meant to be the cartoon and which one is meant to be the toy. I want to say the smooth one's the toy and the textured one's the cartoon, but cartoon don't have texture like that, man. And then much like the one on his hip, he does come with a claw shield with the sword sheathed into it, unfortunately, and you can't take it out, as far as I know anyways. It kind of sucks because I kind of do want to display him with this on his hip, but either way, he's got an extra one with that texture on it and the Sword of Omen's hilt sticking out of it. I will say though, this one you're probably going to want to heat up or something, because it does not just peg onto the little waist peg like the one that comes packaged on him does. That said, he also comes with the Book of Omens. I don't know if this was written by Damien, the spawn of Satan, but either way, comes the Book of Omens. It doesn't open, unfortunately, but it is there. It's cool. It's fine. You can read it to Wily Kit and Wily Cat before they go to bed, I guess. I don't know if there's any good bedtime stories in there, but hey, I don't know. I've never read it. So taking a closer look at Lion-O, let's just get this claw shield out of the way here. This thing, you can just spin it right off. It's not that hard to take off. And this peg, again, kind of fragile, so watch out for that. But you can just have this pegged onto his hip there. I really wish you could take the freaking sword hilts out. That does suck. That seems like a missed opportunity and a very un-Super7 thing to do by today's standards. So maybe if you got the hairdryer out, this is just a glued-in piece. Because it don't come out. Like, it straight up don't come out. And that sucks, because I kind of just want to have that on his hip. But, oh well. It is what it is. Now that Lion-O's defenseless, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. So, very much like the Mattel figure, the fact that he is a glorified Motu Classics, because he's got these things called wrist hinges and ankle rockers, which those things did not have. That said, he also has the crappy Super7 neck joint that doesn't allow for much movement. It's just kind of like a very well hidden disc hinge in the head there, so he can look up and down, he can look side to side. I will say, I did have to, I'm not going to pop the head off, I was going to, but it's kind of a pain in the nuts to get on there. I did file the peg a little bit, had some mold degradation, some flashing, that made the other head very hard to twist on here, so I just kind of filed it a little bit, and this head didn't get looser, and the other one I'm able to move a little bit easier, so it's a win-win for me. That said, it does have up and down, does have side to side, a little bit of tilt, but not a lot. Really not any, it's just kind of the peg doing its thing. He's got the chest armor, which is sculpted on. It's not a separate piece. The undies are. He's got the Thundercats emblem right there on his crotch. Sweet. It's got these claw hands so he can scratch your eyes out. That was weird. And he's got shoulders that go out like this. I guess we should just finish the articulation, stupid. Go back down. They rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep twist. Single elbow with the big old honking pins. But he's not a gummy mess like, I don't know, some Marvel Legends that still use pins, so I'll let it slide. He's got the hinge swivel wrists. He's got an ab crunch that moves back and forth a little bit. Not as tight as I would like, but definitely not loose. It's butter smooth, I'll say. He does have a waist twist. He's got a hips that kick out, kick back down, forward and back. I will say mine had like a chunk of glue on his butt, but I chipped it off, and I don't think I took any paint off. I think it's molded in that color. He's got a thigh cut, pretty well hidden by the diaper there. He's got a single knee, nice and tight there. He's got a boot cut. Oh, that one's stuck. I did not notice that before. This one's stuck? No, that one's not as bad. Well, that's interesting. Well, that was straight up like... Huh. It's not gummy though, so no need to worry. But he does have a hinge in the foot. It can move quite a bit, it's just stiff. And a rocker, which again can move quite a bit, it's just stiff. So, that is Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats for you. Give him his basic claw shield back here. I mean, I guess I could still, put the sword in his hand and just keep this on his hip, but I don't know. I'd rather not, half-arse it and literally have him with the claw glove, maybe. I don't know. I'll probably just display him with the claw glove because that thing looks cool, but for now, I'll just keep him this way. It's a little bit more basic this way. And it's kind of nice. You don't got to worry about the sword falling out of that, but I wish there was an empty one. So maybe there's some kind of accessory set that I'm missing here, and that has the claw shield with the sword not in it permanently. But anyway, that's Lion-O in a nutshell. If you like Thundercats, you gotta get him. He's the main guy. That said, I would like a 2011 version in this scale at some point, or did they do that? I think Bandai did that, right? I don't know. Those figures kind of aren't comparable to these, in my opinion. I think these are a little bit nicer, especially when we're talking the classic stuff. But hey, to each their own. I'm sure some people out there prefer the Bandai versions, and they have every right to. So, with that being said, before this review drags out any longer than it already has, let's now move on and take a look how this guy stacks up against our two regulars for size comparisons, just to keep things short and sweet as usual. And as promised, here is Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. You guys know how I feel about impressions on this channel. Either way, here he is alongside our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, the little bit Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone, because while Lion-O has a big old head of hair that is enough to make the fine folks of Motley Crue jealous, it doesn't count as far as scaling is concerned. I only do to the top of the skull, not to the top of the big poofy 80s hair. So if we ever do get a set of really nice Motley Crue figures, I'm sure good old Al Simmons here will tower over them as well. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and even with the very outdated big old honkin' pin joints in the elbows and knees, that's a carryover from Motu Classics if I ever saw one, I still think that good old Lion-O here is a very solid action figure just in general, because first and foremost, there aren't very many really solid action figures of Lion-O or any of the Thundercats for that matter out there, so when the options are limited, you kind of have to take what you can get. And if you don't have the old Mattel version, then this by far is your best option, because I do believe, like most of the Thundercats Ultimates right now, this guy is still available at places like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth and other places that sell the Super7 Ultimates figures. So if you're jonesing to get a really solid Lion-O action figure from Thundercats, then this is by far your best bet at this current time anyways. I've heard rumors of some sort of Masterverse looking Lion-O, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please feel free to do all the YouTube rigmarole, as well as hit me up over on Instagram at Overlord Productions. If you ever want to talk toys or anything in particular, that is the #1 best way to get a hold of yours truly. But as always, keep comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when you're a die-hard Rankin Bass fan and you start going down this rabbit hole. I mean, I'm already looking at other characters I want to get, and let's just say some of them weren't on my list before. Great. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.